Welcome back to Let's Play Resident Evil 3. Yay!
So, I guess just audience-wise, it's worth noting that you have two places you can go now, as far as I recall, that starting now you can go to. And it's not like it changes some character introductions around. You can go to a restaurant, or you can go to the press office.
Yeah.
And meet characters in different orders if you go which one. So
Wee.
that's worth noting. And also, mildly interesting fun fact, I guess. This game is somehow both, oh no. No, that's wrong. Sorry.
Is both what?
Sorry, no, I had my dates mixed up, but unrelated interesting fact, I guess, is this game is 11 days short for being exactly a year younger than me. Mercenary's Diary. September 1st, following 6 months of intensive training, my body's edge had returned. I was a good soldier, but they ordered my execution with no reason given. I was tortured and forced to give a false confession. But on the morning of my execution, a miracle happened. The company had helped me out, giving me a second lease on life. September 15th, I ended my vacation short and returned to the HQ office. It looked like my UBCS unit's been called into action. Umbrella maintains its own paramilitary unit to counter corporate terrorism and VIP abduction. In addition, they have nightmen who specialize in handling problems caused by illegal products. I'm currently a member of the latter. September 28th, dawn's here, but we're still slogging through this nightmare. There are no provisions of any kind here. The undead walk the streets, feeding upon the flesh of the living. Given the choice again, I would rather have been executed. Death row was a heavenly asylum compared to this place. I've chosen to pull the trigger on myself, in the hope that my dead body won't come back to life. And so he did.
Yep. He did.
He did.
He did.
He did! I can't do that voice at all.
We can't get this yet. There we go. Fire hose is fixed with bolts.
Not bolts.
Not bolts. Ah.
So one of the complaints I've been holding on to, just to have things to talk about at some point or another, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but as I recall, when you get injured, you move slower.
Yes.
And Nemesis injures you very easily, so a lot of these chase sequences are kind of hampered by the fact that when you get injured, you move significantly slower with no real way to get away. So if you find yourself in a bad situation, or maybe you're on caution or danger, and you know you gotta run from Nemesis, you might just be kind of screwed.
Yeah, that's a little BS.
Mm-hmm.
And, hey, she slid. And I find it extra annoying because this game is already pretty difficult and pretty aggressive with its enemies, as you can see here.
Yeah.
So it's not hard to find yourself in a situation where Nemesis kind of just gonna kill you, and you gotta be really lucky to get away.
Yeah. I'm taking care of these dogs, so I don't have to deal with them later.
Nice dodge.
Man. It's like not a good place to fight these things. Shit.
Shotgun? Did you bring it? Did you see it bounce?
Yes.
Oh, man.
God, okay.
Yeah, so if it gets to be short real quick, just like walk a little bit.
Yep.
Look how slow you are. Remember how fast Nemesis was. You are boned.
Thank
And
you.
to some degree, I guess it's kind of a, idea for preparedness, but I feel like when the game has some random enemy spawns, preparedness is kind of out the window.
It's also, if you're gonna gimp with the player that much, why even give them the health?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't remember if Resident Evil 2 made you move that slow or not.
I mean, for
feel like
now, it's still possible to survive, but when you get to some, it's like when you get to some things later in the game, it's like, I might as well be dead.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like anytime Nemesis starts chasing you and you're limping like this, you are boned.
Yeah, because he just...
He is so fast.
Yeah. There's like no chance of outrunning him when you're this slow. He will come and deck you in the head. And you will die.
End of story. And I don't know, that annoys me. It's one of those things where maybe it annoys me because I'm not good, but it still feels like a kind of just some bullshit being heaped, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what am I even supposed to be able to do about this at a certain point? The dodge mechanic is not reliable enough to dodge my way out of a situation like this.
And taking away, speaking of dodging, one of my thoughts was like taking away your ability to run. It's like, imagine if you're like playing Kingdom Hearts and then like when you're at critical levels of a health, you just can't block or you can't dodge roll.
That would turn that game into an actual mess, to be honest.
Okay, so we're going to use the reloading tool. Just combine it with your ammo and boom. Shotgun shells.
And I don't know. I think the thing with this game is like it's super interesting and it does like, you know, cool things with the Resident Evil formula. But it also has some really fucking annoying decisions in the gameplay department that kind of stop me from thinking it's like just a few things different, and I think it could have been as good as Resident Evil 2 maybe, or at least, you know, as memorable, because this game it's kind of I don't think people really remember it as well as like 2 or even 1. Though not as badly unremembered as like Code Veronica, but it doesn't have it's like not the fond memories that stands for 2. And
I feel
think
like
a lot
it
of
should be better remembered than 1.
I mean, I think it should. I think it's way better than 1 for sure. But people don't remember it as well as 1. I find.
Oh no!
I guess 1 at least has the meme material.
Well, it's also, I mean, 1 also has the benefit of being like the only reason this game even exists.
Okay.
Yeah.
But still, it is definitely more interesting and fun than 1. But I think maybe
I'll say like I see what they're going for with the limping. Like I get where they're coming from, but it's actually too punishing.
I think it would have been like fine if it were just a visual change, because I think the intensity would have still gotten across. It would have, you know, like it would have tricked your brain into thinking you're in more danger if you're limping. Like like the animation is limping without a major speed nerf to it. Because when it actually affects the gameplay, it becomes like a potentially huge problem and is not. Fuck this room, by the way. Is this the room I think it is?
Yes.
Is this the construction room? Yeah, fuck this room.
I hate these things.
Yeah, I hate these things too. These are, I believe they're called drain demos. They are fleas, I believe. But yeah, I just think small gameplay things like that kind of hold it back a little bit, as far as like
Can't come up here yet.
more casual fan remembering, like, you know, the diehard fans like myself. Obviously, I know a lot about this game. I like it, but you just ask anyone who plays games, and I feel like you're gonna hear like Resident Evil 2, Resident Evil 4, maybe like Resident Evil 7 get brought up as like things people would just remember.
Those are fleas?
Apparently.
Man, so like Parasite Eve is really just like Resident Evil if you took out the human zombies.
I think they're fleas. They're an insect, I know for sure.
can't get that yet. So we will come back. And we are not going to go to the restaurant.
No, no, no.
We go this way. Oh, hello.
Giving the game praises again, I have to say that that's like... There's like two visual touches here that I very much did not expect from a PS1 game. One is the shell casings literally bouncing against the walls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other is that when we first came onto that camera angle, I saw like a little piece of paper, like, being blown by the wind or something. It's like, wow, really?
Yeah. This game is definitely infinitely more, like... Sorry. Bad phrasing. This game definitely deserves to have its praises sung more than it deserves to be, like, criticized. Because there's not a lot of criticisms I can really throw at it that aren't just, like... There's not a lot of things I consider, like, actual objective problems compared to more just my preference on things. But it does a lot of things that I really like. And visually, I think it has a really, I mean, it's impressive in a general sense, for one thing. For a PS1 game. I think, pardon me. I think, it looks pretty nice. They also managed to get quite a few zombies on the screen at a good couple of moments, and that's pretty impressive. Because, it's a PS1 game, you know?
Yeah.
Not really renowned for its ability to have a ton of moving objects with pathing and AI at the same time. Does a pretty good job. I don't really think I've ever seen any, like, slowdown issues.
No. No, I don't think so.
And they get, you know, I mean, good number of enemies, plus potentially Nemesis, and, you know, the rendered backgrounds with sometimes fire effects and stuff. It does a good job at, the visuals. There's a lot of cool touches, like all...
The fact that the backgrounds are rendered is what helps a lot there, because none of that's like polygons.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's just it's clever techniques and the like. I appreciate that a lot of the signs in the background are completely legible.
Sky.
Yeah.
Which is not a normal thing. And I'm sure some of that's the emulator, but that texture still has to be there like that, you know? It's not just nonsense text. It's actual words. That's pretty cool for a PS1 game, I think. And normally I think people throw that out as like it's pretty good for a, you know, an old game or whatever. But I mean, it is pretty like genuinely neat that they got all these details in on a PS1.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it's a PS1. It was the more powerful system between this and like the N64, but it was still just a PS1.
And a lot of TVs that were played on weren't like huge, so even that extra bit of kind of like they didn't have to.
They could have totally not, and you know, everyone would have been like, whatever. Most people probably won't see it anyways, but they went for it. And I think that's like an attention to detail. It looks like the dev team really cared about this game, which goes a long way for me.
Yeah.
I'm willing to overlook a lot if it looks like the dev team put in a lot of serious work and actually cared about their product. And this game reeks of like, sorry, that's the wrong word. This game just feels like the dev team cared. To me. That's what I get out of it. Photo B. Close-up shot of a zombie. Yep, that's correct. It's a scoop on the backside. Scoop.
Scoop.
A lot of it, I mean, a lot of these thoughts are probably me looking into it, but sometimes I play a game and it just feels like the dev team really cared.
Yeah.
With, like, the small touches you see. And, you know, I don't know how much of that is me just, like, projecting or something, but this is one of those games where I feel like dev team had to be, like, into this idea.
Yeah.
They had to want to make this game. More than just as, like, employees, but I mean, as people making a thing, they, like, had to want this to exist.
I mean, it is
There's a
very
lot of-
common for any number of reasons for even like a really good game to have a lot of obvious
Hey.
cut corners.
Where am I?
Relax. You're fine.
If you say so. But my head feels like it's about to explode. Anyway, name's Carlos. Glad to meet you, lady.
Jill. Alpha Team. RPD's
You
STARS
could
unit.
at least give the guy an herb if he
He's
looks like he
fine.
could use it.
Carlos is fine.
Stars. I see. Well, I'm a member of the biohazard
But
countermeasure
with the
force
way
sent by
he's
Umbrella
hurt, he'd
Corporation.
never be able to
Sent by
outrun Nemesis.
Umbrella?
He isn't Star, so he
Hey.
doesn't have to.
Don't look at me like that. What did I say?
Yeah, true.
Do you have a problem?
So this is gonna be one of those
no.
decisions which will minorly change things.
Oh
It's
no.
another character. It's another character introduction switch. Depending on which of these two you pick, you meet a character somewhere else. We're gonna hide the back. Be ready to run after the scene, so you will get back up afterwards. It's so silly. Run.
Run.
Let us see. Police have been destroyed.
I'll have to come back later. So I don't know if there's something in here that I need to get. Run, 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 run.
I believe it goes to the other place instead.
Oh,
It's
okay.
taking it first, I think. Yeah, but you know, this game just has a couple of touches that I think. One of the other games that I like to bring up when I talk about that is The Legend of Zelda: Wind Waker has just some cool touches on it that totally unnecessary, but makes it feel like the devs cared. And I feel like a lot of Nintendo games, you just kind of feel like the devs maybe cared about the game. But like Wind Waker, you know, if you stand on steps on like 2 different levels, Link will like bend his knees to match the
I need
angle
ask
you have to
you
stand
something.
on to stand on 2 different
Why
stairs.
did Umbrella send your team here?
And it's cool.
Our mission is to rescue
And it's one of those
the
touches where it's like,
civilians.
whatever animator and programmer had to do these
Considering
things to get this to
Umbrella
work,
caused all this in the
completely
first place,
unnecessary.
they're
They could have
liars.
just not, and no one would have
Look,
been like,
we're just
you know, it would have been like a
mercenaries,
big
hired hands.
flop. But they did
Do
it
you really
anyways,
think the
presumably
master
because they
would
either
tell
wanted
his
to do a
dogs
good
why they
job
have to
or they
retrieve
cared
the
about how
stick
this
he
looked
just
when it came
threw?
out.
Yeah.
No time for talking. If you can believe me, then join us. Think about it.
Which is part of why it got a lot of crap. It may have gotten a lot of crap for its art style when it first came out, but then it held up really well.
It aged very well. That is
Yeah.
one of the, especially with the Wii U version, it's probably one of the like best Zelda games, kind of. Period for me. Like that Wii U version is really good. The GameCube version is really good, but it has like that one, you know, one major third act flaw. The Wii U version is so good.
Try to get the music to go away.
And, and I feel like it's a lot of times like those games where you can kind of feel the passion of the creators that tend to hold up really well. Or if they don't hold, or if they aren't well liked at the time necessarily, that they come around. You know, people come around on them, like Wind Waker, and to an extent, kind of this game. People have, I think, come around on this one a lot in the last couple of years, and I think that's how a lot of cult classics come around, is because you can kind of either they're really silly and you know it's like B movie stuff, or you can kind of tell that whoever made it really cared about it. I would love just one episode to go by where I don't cut out in the middle.
Oh.
But as you said before, it would be an LP episode if you did.
We didn't, yeah. I don't know how much I even got in there, but I was talking about how I think like
Oh, they're back. Really?
oh, they're back. How games where you can feel the developers, you know, passion in the project kind of shine through tend to hold up really well, and people tend to come around on them if they didn't get well liked at the time. And also, they tend to either be silly in kind of a B movie sense, or both of those things. I think a lot of my favorite games at this point kind of have that feeling to it. Like well, I guess we were just talking, since off screen we were talking about Nier a little bit. That's one of those games where there's almost no way the dev team wasn't just interested in making that game 100%. Considering, like,
Oh, whoops. I
you
need
bring a
my-
lockpick?
Yeah,
Mhm.
lockpick.
Like, I think Nier just screams, like, everyone who worked on this probably wanted it made.
A while back, and I mean like a while back now, but I picked up Nier for cheap because I was able to because it's a PS3 game. So
Yeah.
and I knew I wanted to play it eventually. But now with the remaster being announced, it's like, do I still hook up the PS3 and play the original, or do I
It's
wait?
worth noting that the one that's getting remastered is the one that was only in Japan, and the one that we got is different from that version, so you would get a different experience if you played both.
Ooh.
Ooh, that
The simple version is that the main character is technically different in each version. In the one that
Oh.
never got released here that's getting remastered, he was a brother figure, and in the one we got, he was a father figure, which isn't a massive change, but I think does recontextualize the story a little bit, and is probably different in dialogue.
Ah! Kitty.
So, my totally biased opinion is I think you should hook up the PS3, but that's also, again, very biased because I like Nier a lot.
That's another game I have that I haven't played yet.
It is so good. One of the things I said off screen about it is it's one of the few games that I think I like more because it's kind of janky. Has a little bit of that kind of jank to it where you're like, yeah, this is a little weird, but it works.
I do have the soundtrack, because someone sent it to me a long time ago. And I really like it.
City Guide, tracks of our city. Dear citizens, thanks to kind and generous people of Umbrella Incorporated, this is a peaceful and friendly city. Vast donations from Umbrella Incorporated have been used for welfare work, the construction of public utilities, and to help maintain public peace. In 1992, it was my 5th year as mayor of our beautiful city. It was then that, through many donations and hard work, our city was able to rebuild the municipal building and create a state-of-the-art hospital. In honor of these fine accomplishments, I was awarded with a grand statue that same year. The statue rests in the municipal building. I came to the city as an engineer more than 35 years ago. I made contributions to the electric systems and to the installation of the cable car. I pledged to follow the tradition of this fine city and will devote my life to its prosperity. The mayor of the city, Michael Warren. There's a good bit of foreshadowing in that note.
Yep. Die. I cannot have shotgun shells in my handgun.
No,
No.
they won't even fit in there, to be honest.
But yeah, if you come here first, you meet Carlos here, and Nemesis will come and try to kill you in here too.
And your options are go to the basement or blow them up with a lighter.
Yep.
And like a gas tank. Again, it plays into some stuff later on, more or less, but other than that, it's just where you meet Carlos, who is Jill's friend for the game. You know, one of those things that's always kind of interesting to consider when you're like looking at a game, because games exist. You know, they exist.
Oh my
Oh
god.
my god!
That's a lot of zombies. All of a
Shotgun?
sudden. Yeah, shotgun the hell out of everything.
Wow. Well, so I guess what I was saying, like one of those things that's always so I don't know how you want to phrase it, like something to look at or something to think about when playing a game. Because you're just talking about like the creators' investment in their own products is like you got to look at a game as a product and as like a you want to call it like a piece of art that the dev team worked on. And where's that line between do they care about it as a product or do they care about it as like a thing they're making? and more up the AAA ladder you get, I feel like the more difficult it is to draw that conclusion. Like an indie game, I feel like just some random indie game made by like one or two dudes on Steam. It's pretty safe to assume that this is probably whatever artistic creation they just wanted to make within their limitations. But you get a AAA studio like Capcom, and you got to be kind of like, how much of this was like market trends and risk analysis of a product, and how much of this was whatever actual people were behind the dev team trying to make a product they wanted to make.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you get like the suits who care about one thing and the actual dev team who presumably care about another.
Yes, and somehow or another they meet in the middle, and they create a game.
And you gotta kind of figure out where that line lies, which side got more precedent in the release of a particular product. Like Resident Evil 6 was probably more on the side of... Resident Evil 5 actually is probably a good example of probably mostly on the side of suits who wanted a product that appealed to things that they knew were good.
Yeah.
Like Resident Evil 4 that grew off from that. Not to say that the dev team who made 5 didn't probably put a lot of actual genuine work into it. It's just...
Yeah, because they did, because it's not poorly made. It is well made. It is just more...
You can just tell that they were required to draw certain features onward, forward. And...
Yeah. It feels the least like a Resident Evil game.
No, not at all. It's very far from that, actually.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, yeah.
No, I mean, it's very far from feeling the least like a Resident Evil game.
Well,
I've played a lot of Resident Evil games. I've played a lot of Resident Evil spin-offs. Trust me.
well,
Five's actually kind of decent Resident Evil-y feel to it, especially in comparison to Dead Aim, Gun Survivor 2, Operation Raccoon City, Resident Evil Gaiden, fucking 6. Just to name a few. Can you tell I've played a lot?
I will go back into my corner.
I mean, you're on kind of the right track, though, because it feels more like a Resident Evil 4.
Yeah,
like just another, like a re-release of Resident Evil 4 than it does, like, its own Resident Evil game.
Yeah.
For sure. Like, I think 5 is probably the least... Is the least its own product out of all of them, at least. Even 6, you have to be like, it's not really good, but it is its own product.
Hello?
Is he just not gonna die?
No, he is finally. I shotgun him to be safe.
He's already dead. It's enough. He's dead. You killed him.
He was dead when we started shooting him, so it doesn't matter.
But yeah, 6 has its own identity. 4 has its own identity. 5 is just kind of 4 light with a co-op partner. It doesn't really have its own real identity to me. Even all those spin-offs I mentioned have an identity to them. These smaller scale LPs are always interesting because we get these opportunities to delve into actual topics, which is just too difficult to do when there's like 6 of us.
Yeah, really.
When there's that many of us, it's hard to like delve into these topics, and most of us have a say. But these small LPs are always good for that.
No, that's not
which kind of gives them a different atmosphere, I guess, to 6 of us playing an RPG or whatever. But
ooh, shotgun shells.
Always good to have those.
Yeah.
so oh, hello. in other conversational topics, is this just me, or are we getting like an absurd amount of really good remakes in the last like 2 years? Because there's been like Resident Evil 2 and 3 and Final Fantasy 7
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
all got remade, and all were really good remakes.
Also, I would say that Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Rescue Team DX counts as a really good remake.
That mechanics memo. I know that you're intimidated by your new job, Kevin, so let me tell you how to make sure that you and your trains get along just fine. You see, these characters were made in 1968 and then imported from Europe. Sometimes they get rickety, but they still work because they are simple, stubborn, and strong. You can always depend on them. If they have a bad day and are malfunctioning, you'll need to take a good look at your circuits for any trouble. Once you discover what's wrong, you'll be able to fix it easily. I'm sure that you'll be able to avoid those nasty little malfunctions if you check the parts every day. These old trains will surely have problems if you don't remember to check them out. Just remember that if you need to replace anything, you have to choose a suitable part. When I say suitable, I mean that even if you can't find another original part, you'd better find something that works good enough, even with regard to oil. You must always prepare good quality oil for these trains. Never forget, Kevin, that a man may betray others, but a machine won't.
The Mystery
Yeah.
Dungeon one is a much more niche, small audience kind of thing, but it still hits the thing of like just being a really, really good remake.
Yeah. It's been kind of like a what do you
You're
call
one
it,
of the
trend?
survivors from the
I guess you
rescue
could.
team, right?
Oh,
I just
hello,
ran into your
Nikolai,
teammate, Carlos.
the definitely not bad guy.
Hey, I'm
You
no
could take it back a
ordinary
couple of years
citizen.
further if you wanted
I'm a
to, and
member
also
of
like
Stars.
Crash Bandicoot kind of got.
Stars.
It's kind of a
Spyro.
remake.
You mean
Spyro.
the special force team?
It's been kind of a thing going on.
Ah,
Now, I think the
Hey,
Crash and Spyro runs
is
are
someone wounded
less
back there?
like the other ones we mentioned seem a bit more completely reworking everything, even structurally, but still, all of these are definitely
Oh,
some good
this
remakes that
looks
have come out.
bad.
they're coming.
It's
Get ready. Fire.
kind of a neat trend, though I do worry that eventually we're gonna get nothing but remakes, and it'll be like,
Calm down. You're
hello?
safe now.
please?
And,
Everything
Can
is
we
gonna
have
be
some
okay.
Duke stuff, please?
No, don't come any closer. Stay away.
So, Jill, did you decide to help us out? It looks like we're the only ones who survived. We should work together.
No, we can't.
I'm
trust her.
evil.
I'm definitely not the bad guy.
Hey.
Why? But Sergeant,
You know what I
we
found
need your
out?
help. Our unit's
Nikolai's
down
supposed to be
you, me, and
35?
Lieutenant Mikhail. That's
He
it.
looks a lot
And
older than
Mikhail's
that.
hurt
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
he
does.
does.
bad. We
I
won't be walking
mean,
away from this mission.
Like in his
yeah.
50s or something.
35, my ass.
Yeah,
Fine. Then let's go over.
he
it.
dyes his
We're-
hair white.
We're moving to the clock tower.
Maybe
area,
he's
which is
just
the
been
designated
through some
landing
shit.
zone for the
I mean,
expedition.
Bleaches his hair. There we
He
go.
does work for
Once we get
Umbrella.
there and give the signal,
It's
the
not
chopper
like
will fly in and pull us out.
ridiculous that his hair would just be white, and he's. I
That's a
mean,
lot of ground to
you know,
cover.
people just sometimes their hair
I
goes
don't
gray,
think we
you
can
know,
make it
like
on
really
foot.
early. It happens.
The main
Yeah.
problem
But it's not
we
just
have
his
is
hair,
the
it's
landing
like-
zone is cut
Yeah,
off from
he-
here.
His
he
face
looks
just kind of has like an
physically
age
So
old.
we
look.
have no choice
Yeah.
but to use this cable
Yeah,
car
the
to
guy
navigate
looks
through it.
like, like,
Fortunately, we can also use it as a moving
definitely
shield to
like
get us
it
to
is-
PS1
worst
modeling
areas.
isn't doing that any favors.
That works for me.
No,
Good plan.
he does just
Sir.
look even like.
Okay,
Thanks.
people, let's get moving.
I mean, like, you can't
Jill, put
blame
this on.
all that on the model, because, other people that look younger. I mean, it's not just,
But yeah,
it
but
just
I mean,
looks
to some
old.
degree, it probably is like, if you look old in the PS1, then you probably look even older because you're in the PS1.
Well, yeah.
It's like, it's. I mean, because it is hard to gauge. Like Carlos is apparently 21. Carlos is as old as I am,
He seems older than that.
right?
Yeah. I'd say he'd be like at least like 25, but look at
Mhm.
him.
And Jill is like 24.
Awesome
So-
casting.
Yeah, It's like, how the fuck are we supposed to know how old anyone is here?
What if they were doing that on purpose?
That would be
Like,
hilarious.
intentionally making it hard to tell how old they are?
No, I mean like intentionally hitting that Dawson movie TV show casting kind of
Oh,
thing.
that would be really funny, honestly.
Yeah, that would be.
Even take it to like Resident Evil 2. Claire does not look like she's 19.
No.
She really doesn't.
Even in the remake, she doesn't really look like she's 19.
Well, the remakes probably are intentionally doing it because they could have made her look 19. They could have made her, yeah. They could have. They don't have the it's the
Honestly,
PS1.
I think they just didn't really care if she looked like she was 19.
It'd be really funny though if there was something in the production notes about.
So,
Because I'll give the remake, like, Leon does kind of look like he'd be 21. Like a really attractive, like,
Mhm.
yeah.
like, makeup, done up 21. But, you show me him, I can believe it. In Resident Evil 2 remake. Not the original, though. It's like, I don't know how old this fucking guy is. He looks like he's made out of Play-Doh.
Oops.
I forgot about that. Oh, shit.
Had to do it the long way.
I mean, it gave us a good laugh, so that makes
Yeah.
it worth it.
Yeah, it makes it okay.
But at the end, what did that accomplish?
Jill!
Wasting time.
I mean,
Hey, the
I,
zombies are getting restless.
Did have a pretty horrifying thought.
I can hear them.
what?
What's going on?
Code for Veronica's next.
Oh,
Have fun.
Jill! What's wrong?
that
They're coming. They must have sniffed us out.
This
They know
gas station's
we're
called
here.
Stagla.
Stagla.
Jill, calm down.
Stagla.
Any objections
That was
to my
honestly
playing
messing
hero
with my
this time?
brain as to how to
What
read
are
that.
you doing?
Yeah, I don't even know.
Stagla.
Carlos!
Stagla,
Or-
Stagla, Stagala.
For all of your
More like my brain was
automotive-
mixing up the letters too.
Eat this! Ah!
Carlos sucks with that thing, dude.
Yeah, like how are those zombies not just dead?
Uh-huh.
Carlos!
Oh no, he's dead.
What a shame.
No!
This game really does Carlos no favors. He kind of sucks, to be honest. Like,
Relax. I'm not dead yet.
especially in the early
Are you
game,
okay?
like, Carlos is really fucking, like, you're worthless.
I'm fine. That hero
I think he
stuff is
kind of
harder than it
redeemed
looks.
himself pretty good about halfway through. But early on, it's like, why the fuck is this guy even in this game?
Okay, I'm gonna scrounge up some equipment. There might not be any at our destination.
To make Jill look better. I mean, she's already just to emphasize how badass she is.
I'd respect that if he doesn't literally save her life later in the game.
Well, I mean, everyone has a bad day. So, I mean.
Nothing special.
Because, like, in the first one, like, Jill would have been smashed into, like, a Jill sandwich.
But Barry's
not
a fucking badass.
Well, yeah, so is Jill. And Jill still needed to be saved.
Well, yeah, because Barry's got to save everybody. Barry's a fucking badass. What does that got to do with Carlos?
I mean, even the hero needs help.
Yeah, by someone who isn't shit.
Well, like, I'm
how to do
sorry,
this.
Barry's on vacation, and Chris is off doing something else, and Leon and Claire are currently being heroes somewhere else, so, I mean,
No, they're on their way.
well, like, Have you ever heard of like the B team? Carlos is like the C team. It's the guy.
There we go.
He was a bench warmer, but he is what you got.
You're going through a lot of like attempts to justify why he sucks when I was really just trying to say I don't like the way he's written.
Yeah.
Not that any of us can comment specifically, but
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. His
I don't know a damn thing about this game. So basically, if I don't throw it like this, it's basically just gonna be me sitting here twiddling my thumbs. Okay.
90% of us isn't even talking about this game, man. What are you talking about?
Yeah. True.
Oh no.
Oh no, kaboom.
Get.
Everything's on fire.
Okay, time to go.
Yeah, my work here is done.
Rest assured, it will all explode now.
Good job.
Rip the Stagla, dude.
Poor Stagla, dude.
The gas station isn't called the Stagla, dude. But that would be a great name for a gas station.
Yeah.
Stagla,
What
dude.
did we get from going in there? I wasn't paying enough attention.
Oil.
The machine oil.
Okay.
You gotta find, what, a mixer for it, and then make mixed oil for the tram
Yeah.
car. All the puzzles here now are just trying to fix the fucking tram car. You slammed the door in your face!
Ow!
That's just rude.
Time to teach these zombies some manners!
Yeah.
Face. Jerks.
You jerks!
Do I have? I'll have to get those later. Here's a switch. Gimme.
Look.
Look. Eh. One thing in this game is, you do backtracking.
Yeah, the actual, like, areas are pretty small, I think, by and large. They feel big, because there's a lot of, like, alleyways.
Mm-hmm.
But there's really only a couple locations you ever have to go to, and you walk back and forth between them a lot. It's not a huge problem later in the game because you go through places much quicker, but here in the early game, it does feel kind of... It teeters on being a bit of a slog, but it's got nothing on Code Veronica.
Yeah.
You want to hear about slog backtracking? Just you fuckers just wait.
Yeah.
You're gonna have about the most boring back half of a game you've ever fucking seen. You like redoing everything you did in the first half again? Woo-hoo. It's coming.
I mean, there's some really beloved games that pull that shit.
Yeah?
Backtracking.
I can't think of any.
Symphony
not-
of the Night.
That game's got a fun gameplay loop, though. I'll give you that one, though. The Symphony of the Night literally does just do that.
You gonna come back? Yeah. Die. Die. Okay, everybody's dead. Stay dead. This.
And then they all got up.
And then I cried.
I don't hate the
I
back
know-
half of Symphony of the Night, but the problem I end up having with it is it doesn't feel as fun and interesting well, for obvious reasons, but also even just down to certain things like some of my favorite music is in the original castle, and then the inverted castle just plays the same few music tracks in every area, which doesn't help.
It's definitely not much of a
Aw,
a
damn
slog as. Oh, you missed one.
Yep. That means we're not gonna get it. That's okay.
We'll just have to read it later
Yep.
online. I can tell you, Code Veronica is definitely more of a slog to Symphony than it is.
I believe that.
Yeah. Let's go back.
Even doing the back hat, doing the back half of Symphony. Well, shit. Actually, I guess it would be hypocritical of me to not mention how Nier basically makes you play through the back half of the game 4 fucking times to get every ending. So.
Oh.
Of the original Nier?
Yes.
I know there's a lot of shenanigans with Automata too, but I don't know too many specifics.
There are 4 endings in Nier, and you play through the back half. You play through the full game, and then it starts you in the back half for the next 3 endings.
Huh. Man. I just healed.
And I believe one of them makes you collect all the unlockable weapons. So.
Like I know there's a meme joke with Automata of like someone who only got the first ending and they're like, I don't know why this game is so short.
My understanding of Automata is there's like an ending for every letter of the alphabet, and like 15 of them are joke endings.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nier only has 4.
Yeah.
that I know of.
Yeah. And I've heard like one of the other endings for Automata, like
No.
Okay.
No. Not at all. Nothing.
Okay.
Not yet. I haven't played it, damn it.
Oh. Okay.
I've only played the first one.
I've played neither.
I haven't either, but I've heard about one of the endings, and it's
Of Automata?
yes.
Yeah, I haven't played Automata yet.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
Is that Cafe VGA?
Cafe.
Is T?
T? TFA?
T? Is that not a G in the middle?
I can't tell.
I think that's
Fuck.
I was thinking that's a very fancy E.
Yeah.
Cafe T? Yeah, okay, maybe.
Yeah, tea. Yeah, cafe tea.
Carry on.
Yeah.
Wait. Hair time.
What?
The sign to the right says hair time.
Hair time.
Air time.
Okay. Very good.
English at its best.
Hair time.
It's hair
Hair
time.
Cafe
time.
tea.
Cafe tea. Hair time.
Alright, it's been almost 50 minutes, so...
Next time, stars. Actually, next time, trains.
I like trains.
Trains.
Trains.